This is Tim Willis, and today I'm going to be doing a demonstration on how you can use CSS ID selectors to have a page scroll to certain sections of that page. And you do this using CSS. And although it may sound kind of complicated, in ClickFunnels 2.0 is actually pretty easy to do. And you really don't have to be a coding expert to do it. We're looking at a page I made a long time ago, and it really isn't complete because I did it as a modeling exercise. And one of the problems with the page is we don't actually have any contact information for Tucson Car Pros, which is a company name I just made up. So that's kind of something I forgot. But I was more interested in working on this page as a concept to figure something out. When we look at this page, we see we have a page that has a bunch of sections, and most of those sections have a little sub headline that looks something like that. It's about us or services. What we want to do is be able to use this toolbar here to scroll to any of those sections like this. Let's go to our team and see it goes to the section called our team. And if we look at our web page, we can see that's pretty far down on the page. So the question is, how do we do that the simple way without having to go into all the code and change things? Well, it's really very simple. I'm going to go to the actual funnel in the editor and show you how it's done. In the editor, the first element we need to have is our navigation bar here. And when we open that up, we can set how many ever items we want on the navigation bar and arrange in what order we want here under navigation links. And then let's go to the services here. If we open this up, we see that we have this as a custom action link. And your choices are custom action link or a custom URL. And we see this little funny number down here. And that is what we need to have. So let's go to X this out. And all these will have something like that, one of these funny little numbers. But the numbers will all be different. That's the one thing we need. The other thing we need is to go to the sections of the page where we're going to get those numbers. So if we scroll down here to, let's say, About Us, and we mouse over that subheadline, then we can click on the three dots and look for something that says Code. And this is going to bring up the CSS editor for ClickFunnels. And you see we can put in CSS code, header code, or footer code here. But we're on CSS. So each of these elements on the page, whether it's a text element, a row, or even a section, will have a CSS ID selector, and it'll all be different. As well, we can put in a title here to make it easier to figure out what things are. So we could change this to About and update. And it's just going to update. Otherwise, that title can stay blank. It's not going to make any difference. But it makes it easier when we're putting things together to put those titles in to keep things straight. All right. And then what we need to do is we need to copy our CSS selector. In this case, we're in the About Us section. We can do that right there. Go back to our navigation bar. Go to About Us and plug that in there. Now you see we already have it in there, but that's where we got it from. We copied it from the CSS code editor for that element, and then we dropped it in here. So it's really easy to do, and this way you can tie different sections of the page to a navigation bar like this one up here at the top. And so that is really all there is to it. Now, just a note, as I said, this page really isn't quite complete because we don't have any contact information. But another note on that would be, let's go ahead and look for something here. All right, if we were to add a single column row here, and then add a button, we want to open up the button things. Now, buttons are a different story. And buttons, as you know, you use them to, submit information generally or to say yes or no to something, but you can use them to scroll to a section on the page. So let's go ahead and go right here where it says button action. And you see we have a section that says scroll to. Now, if we choose that, we have this other little text box in the bottom here that says, where do you want to scroll? And as we mouse over here, it's going to go to different sections on the page. And we may have to go down a bit to get something. Let's see right here. Be a little tricky sometimes. All right, so let's just keep on going down, down, down. We'll choose this one here. Here you see the little blue rectangle around that line right now. Okay. Now let's go ahead and save. And then we're going to go to that button and click it. Okay. Now let's go to our preview and we should see that button here. Okay, we may need to relaunch the preview. Yeah, that was it. We just need to relaunch. So now when we click this button, so you can see it scrolled up to the headline we chose of why choose us. So you can do this with a button as well, but it would be a little clumsy having a bunch of buttons on the page just to scroll to different areas. So in this case, it makes a lot more sense to use a navigation bar like this. And that's really all there is to that. So that is it for this video. This is Tim Willis. I'm a certified ClickFunnels funnel builder, and I make tutorial and demonstration videos on ClickFunnels, sales funnel building, webpage design, and the graphical tools we use to do all those things. That's the video for now. I will talk to you later.